Good morning, students. In yesterday's class, we discussed about Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. And I think yesterday we discussed one numerical also related to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Now coming to the other model question based on that same principle. Note on the question. Calculate the uncertainty in position of a golf ball anything, either golf ball, whatever it is, a particle whose uncertainty in momentum is 0.1%. Okay, uncertainty in momentum is 0.1%. The mass of golf ball is 0.2 milligrams. Okay, the mass of the golf ball is given as 0.2 milligrams, and its velocity is 10 meters per second. Okay, they are asking us to calculate uncertainty in the position of that ball. Now coming to the given data, the given uncertainty in the momentum as well as mass of the ball and the velocity also given. Okay, so using this, how we will calculate uncertainty in the position? Now, first of all, the given mass of the ball is, how much they give? The mass of the ball they given 0.2 milligrams. Okay, milligrams they given, but I told you, even we discussed in the previous numerical also, the mass of that particle should be taken in kilograms, not in milligrams. So while converting milligrams to kilograms, so 0.2 into, it should be multiplied with how much? 10 to the power minus 6. Grams to kilograms. In the previous problem we multiplied with 10 to the power minus 3. But for converting milligrams to kilograms, we have to multiply it with 10 to the power minus 6 kg. So this is the mass of the ball. Now coming to the other data they given, velocity of that ball is given as 10 meters per second. We have mass and velocity, but uncertainty in the velocity they did not given. Instead of giving uncertainty in the velocity, they given in the question about uncertainty in the momentum they given. Got it? Actually, if they give delta V, directly we can go for calculation. But instead of giving uncertainty in the velocity, in the question what they given? Uncertainty in the momentum. What is the relation between this velocity and to the momentum? We know momentum is nothing but mass into velocity. So first let us calculate momentum how much. Mass how much we got? 0.2 into 10 to the power minus 6. Velocity how much given? 10. So 10 into 0.2. So finally we got momentum as 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 kg meters per second. Okay, mass is taken in kg, velocity is taken in meters per second. So this is the momentum we got. But what is the data they given? Uncertainty in the momentum. So delta P we need to find. Delta P is equals to what we got? How much percentage they given? 0.1 percentage of that we have to take. So 2 into 10 to the power minus 6, 0.1 percent. So one or two numericals we did in the same manner. 0.1 percentage means what? 0.1 divided by 100. Okay? So finally, uncertainty in the momentum, we came to know it as 2 into 10 to the power. How much it will become? 100 means 10 square. 0.1. So total it will become 10 to the power minus 3. 10 to the power minus 6. So total it is 10 to the power minus 9. This is the uncertainty in the momentum. Okay? Understood here why I have taken 0.1 by 100? Because the given uncertainty while measuring the momentum is 0.1%. Means the error is 0.1%. So I have taken the delta. Okay? Now coming to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. What is the relationship given by Heisenberg? Delta x, so change in uncertainty in the position into uncertainty in the momentum is equals to h by 4 pi. Actually the statement is what? Greater than or equals to h by 4 pi. While solving the numerical we are going to take like this. Now substitute the values there. H value how much? 6.626. Here, the above relation, we want to calculate delta x. So we can write it as h by 4 pi into delta x, right? Now, delta x is equals to, h value how much we have? 6.626 into, or approximately take it as 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34 divided by 4 into pi, nothing but 22 by 7, 3.14. Delta x, so delta p, change in momentum. The uncertainty in momentum we got it as 2 into 10 to the power minus 9. Okay. Now coming to the calculation, we know 3.3 will be approximately cancelled here 2 times. This 2 gets cancelled. So what is left here? 1 by 4. 1 by 4 nothing but 0.25, right? 1 divided by 4, so 0.25. 10 to the power minus 34, 10 to the power plus 9. Because when the 10 to the power minus 9 is in the denominator, when it comes to the numerator, it will become plus 9. So minus 34 plus 9, it is 10 to the power minus 25. Okay? So instead of writing 0.25, so I am going to write it as either 2.5 if I want to write. What about the decimal? If I write the same number as 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 26. So this is the uncertainty in the position. Right? Let's check it. Instead of 0.25, written as 2.5. So 10 to the power minus 25 became 10 to the power minus 26. Right? Now, let's look at the question. Mass they given, velocity they given, and percentage of uncertainty in the momentum they given, not the velocity. So that is why from mass and velocity we found momentum first. Then using momentum we have calculated the percentage of uncertainty. So change in uncertainty we came to know as 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 into 1% of it. Nothing but we came to know it as 2 into 10 to the power minus 9. So the values we substituted in the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Okay. Now, coming to the next model. Coming to the next question. Calculate the uncertainty. Calculate the uncertainty in velocity of an electron. Okay, calculate the uncertainty in the velocity of an electron. They are asking us to calculate for electron, they are asking us to calculate the delta V value. We know the formula. Regarding this one, the other data they given is uncertainty in position of that electron is 1 angstrom. Okay. They are asking to find delta V. They given delta X. So related to these two, what formula we know that their delta V in terms of that we want. So coming to Heisenberg's principle, delta X into m delta V is equals to h by 4 pi. Or it is greater than or equals to h by 4 pi. That is Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Here we want to find delta V. So uncertainty in the velocity we want. So the above formula will become h by 4 pi. These two terms I am going to bring this side. So it is a m into delta x. Okay. H value we know already. Now mass of the electron is the given in the question? No. And there is no need to give in the question also because we know the mass of the electron. Now delta x, they given it as 1 angstroms. Why particularly this question I am explaining is units are very important. Can you take delta x directly as a 1? No, 100% we cannot take delta x as 1 angstroms because here the h value is in terms of joules or nothing but kg meter square by second square. So when it is in meters, so delta x value also should be in meters. Okay. So that is the thing we have to convert here. They given it as 1 angstrom. Since we know 1 angstrom is equals to 10 to the power minus 10 meters. So 1 angstrom we can write it as 10 to the power minus 10 meters. Mass of the electron, anyway we know in terms of kilograms it as 9.108 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. Okay. So now the data what we have, let us substitute in the formula. So delta V is equals to 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 divided by 4 into 3.14 into 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31. That is mass of the electron. Delta X, how much we got? 1 angstrom, nothing but in terms of meters it is 10 to the power minus 10. That's why even in the previous class also I explained about the importance of the units while solving the numerical. Because you know the formula, you are able to do all the calculations. But instead of 10 to the power 10, if we substitute 1, definitely you will get a different value. maybe number will be same, the power of 10 will be different. Okay, that is why be careful while solving any numerical. Okay? Because in the competitive examinations, for example, if you take this one, whatever the answer you will get, that may be in the first option. So automatically, without cross checking, we may choose the answer. Okay, because we will solve the questions in a hurry manner. Time is also important. Okay, so focus from the starting time onwards while solving the numericals. The units of the values whatever we are taking are very important. Okay, now calculate here. It is approximately 2 times. Now 2 will be cancelled here 2 times. So 2 into 9.1. So delta V in the denominator we are going to get 2 into 9.1. So approximately 18. Okay. Now coming to the 10 to the power values. Here in the numerator we have minus 34. In the denominator we have 10 to the power minus 31. When it goes to the numerator it will become plus 31. Minus 10 when it comes to the numerator it will become plus 10. How much it is? Minus 34 plus 31. So it is a minus 3. 10 minus 3. So nothing but plus 7. Right? Now we got in the numerator as a 10 to the power 7. For our convenience, I am writing it as 100 into 10 to the power 7 divided by 18. Because when the numerator value is bigger than denominator, it will be easy to do the calculation. Now tell me how many times? 5 18s are, so 5 into 18 if you do, 5 18s are 90. If you go for 6 18s, it will be 108. Our value is 100. So just closer to the, or exactly by nearby half of that value between 90 and 108. So more than 5, less than 6. So approximately I am going to take the value as 5.5 into 10 to the power 7. Okay. So this is uncertainty in the velocity. Right? Calculations I told you, just go through. Even if you want to do exactly, the final value won't be much different than this one. Okay? You may get maybe exactly as a 5.6 or 5.4, but not much different from this value. Right? If the options are given in the advanced level exam as a 5.2, 5.3, 5.4, in such cases definitely we should go for exact calculation. It takes some time. Because divisions and multiplications are not new to you. Okay? Now focus on understanding the question and the way we are solving the question. Okay? Now, so till now we discussed about de Broglie's dual nature of matter as well as Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, right? Here we discussed different numericals, different models also we discussed. That will be enough. Maximum these level questions only they are asking, whether in the JEE and NEET level also. Now coming to the next concept. Now from this Heisenberg uncertainty principle, we came to know that Bohr's model was invalid. So that is why now coming to the next atomic model and the model structure of atom, nowadays we are following based on this model. Okay? The name of that atomic model is quantum mechanical model of an atom. Or keep the subheading as a quantum mechanical model of atom. Okay. Regarding this quantum mechanical model of atom, first you should have some clarity about it. It is not that much easy to understand quantum mechanical model of atom at this stage. Okay. At this stage nothing but in the PU level it will be difficult to understand this quantum mechanical model because it is not a simple atomic model. It is one of a branch of physics, okay, a branch of science it is. So it is we cannot discuss total quantum mechanical model of atom in 2 classes or 3 classes, okay, and it is not a easy one because it gives complete structure of atom, nothing but a 3-dimensional structure of atom it gives. So not an easy thing. So according to NCERT also we have just introduction about quantum mechanical model of atom, right? Now first coming to the highlight points about this quantum mechanical model, the main thing is it explains about the 3-dimensional structure of the atom. Before that discussion, first let us discuss about the branch of science which explaining about the 3-dimensional structure of atom, that is known as quantum mechanics. Okay, quantum mechanics is the branch of science which explains about the complete structure of atom, 3-dimensional structure of atom. Why I am telling it as a 3-dimensional structure is because till now the main thing is Bohr's model that gives about the structure of atom or the revolution of electron around the nucleus. In a plane it explained successfully, but in a 3-dimensional geometry it failed to explain. So which was successfully explained by quantum mechanical model. Okay, that branch of science which is explaining this is known as quantum mechanics. This quantum mechanics was developed by two scientists. One is Schrödinger. Quantum mechanics was developed by Schrödinger and also Heisenberg. Yesterday also we discussed about this Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Even Heisenberg and Schrödinger developed quantum mechanics individually. Okay, these two scientists was developed quantum mechanics separately. Now out of these two, mainly Schrödinger successfully explained about the 3-dimensional structure of atom using the equation which is named as Schrödinger's wave equation. Okay, quantum mechanics was developed by these two people, but coming to the explaining of the structure of atom was successfully done by Schrödinger, Erwin Schrödinger. He given a basic equation which explains about the structure of atom. The equation is known as Schrödinger's wave equation. By solving this equation, we will get different values. Out of that, there will be some meaningful values which explains about structure of atom. Just note down the equation given by him. As I told you, we have small introduction about this one. We no need to solve this equation. So don't worry by looking at the equation. Now the equation given by Schrödinger is dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square plus dou square psi by dou z square plus 8 pi square m by h square into E minus V into psi is equals to 0. Okay? So first thing, by looking at the equation, you don't be confused. Because you don't get any numericals based on this equation, and it is not an easy thing to solve this equation. Okay? Just whatever the equation given by Schrodinger, we should have idea. So that is why given to you. Schrodinger's wave equation is nothing but dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square plus dou square psi by dou z square plus 8 pi square m by h square into E minus V into psi. I think by looking at the equation, either E or M or H, these are only the things we know. Okay. So first let us write clearly what are meant by these terms in the given equation. Okay. So first coming to this x, y, z. In the above equation, the x, y, z, nothing but these represents coordinate axes. Okay? Coordinates of the axis. Generally we know about three-dimensional structure while we are representing x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. So this x, y, z represents the coordinates. Now, coming to the other terms, where m is mass of electron. Now E, where E is nothing but total energy of the particle, where V nothing but potential energy of the particle. Okay, where M is mass of the particle, E is energy of the particle, V is potential energy of the particle. E represents total energy. So total energy minus potential energy. Now coming to the H, as always we know, H nothing but Planck's constant. So these are the main terms in the Schrodinger's wave equation. Now coming to the new term you got in this equation is psi. Okay, it is pronounced as, is a Greek letter psi, psi. While pronouncing, we should pronounce like this. Now coming to this psi, where psi is known as wave function. So this is the main thing which gives complete information about electron in an atom. So we'll discuss separately about what is psi, what it represents. Okay? So first look at the equation and remember all this. Now coming to this part, for example, if you want to know what is meant by this dou square. So for example, if you see dou square psi by dou x square. In mathematics, you know about derivatives. Okay, I think whether the derivatives are started or not, I don't know, but we will come to know about derivation. Here, dou square represents, it is a second derivative of it is second derivative of psi with respect to x. Okay, with respect to x, it is a second derivative. So when you go for second term, it is a second derivative of psi with respect to y. Second derivative of psi with respect to z. Okay. All these things, as I told you, solving the equations and all not needed. Just you should know what is meant by Schrodinger wave equation. Because using this equation only, the Schrodinger explains about the structure of the atom. Okay, so copy this equation. Then we will discuss about the main features of this quantum mechanical model. Copy this. Next, keep the subheading as important features of. Wait. Before discussed about the important features of this quantum mechanical model, now coming to this Schrodinger wave equation, that lengthy one we got, the same one we can represent in a shortcut way also. It is represented as E psi is equals to H psi. Okay? H cap generally we use. E psi is equals to H psi, where E means energy function. Now coming to the H cap, which is a mathematical operator, also called as Hamiltonian operator. Okay, which is a mathematical operator. Mathematical function it is. In this simple way also we can represent Schrodinger's wave equation. Okay, because recently also one statewide examination PMT they asked this one. So note down this one also, because this is used to represent Schrodinger wave equation. Note down this.